Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Sorcerer Dave. Welcome back to another stream, another episode of this Kaiserreich playthrough where we're playing as Japan. Yes, indeed. We are playing as Japan. Give it a minute to load. Here in Kaiserreich, the world where Germany won the First World War and messed everything up. We are playing as Japan. The Empire of Japan. Obviously, our leader is the Emperor Hirohito. Our ideology is social conservative. Our ideological group is liberal. The next election is apparently February 1940. The ruling party is the Seiyukai? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that little accent over the U actually means. But anyway. Previously, we began our campaign as the Japanese, which started off pretty slow. I mean, basically just building infantry divisions and destroyers. And then everything suddenly got very interesting when this happened. America broke out into civil war. And we've been doing our best to support the Pacific States of America because they're the faction that's the most closely aligned with us. However, it's looking like the combined syndicates of America, the old syndicalists here with Jack Reed, are probably going to come out on top of the whole thing. What I'm hoping will happen is that they'll get their Rocky Mountains truce. So have the Sindies in the east and the Pacific States in the west, and that will buy some time. And hopefully the Pacific States will join our little co-prosperity sphere because we've been supporting them lots. And they'll become part of our alliance, and then when war breaks out again, later on in the 40s, between the CSA and the PSA, we will be able to send troops and armies and air forces and stuff over there to try and crush the Sindies, because that would be rather good. We have a pretty vested interest, you see, in the Pacific States of America on account of the fact that they have California, which includes a lot of oil. And we as Japan, our biggest problem as Japan, really, is the fact that we need lots of oil to maintain our big navy, and we don't have a lot of oil. Funnily enough, in the real World War II, Japan kind of went to war over that whole oil situation, and we have a bit of an issue with it too. Now, most of the oil in Asia is down here in these German and Dutch colonies, so no prizes for guessing what we're going to be invading very soon down the line. We did previously invade the Philippines, because with America collapsing in on itself, a lot of their overseas territories out here in the Pacific kind of went away. Now, I wasn't quick enough off the mark to get to Hawaii. They've aligned themselves with the Entente, unfortunately. But I did manage to get my hands on most of the Philippines, except for this bottom bit. The Germans kind of swept in and took, I think it's Mindanao, this bottom bit, isn't it? And Palawan here. Goodness knows why, because these two bits of the Philippines here basically carry no valuable resources whatsoever. I guess it has some strategic value, I suppose, but that's about it, really. All the good stuff is up in the northern end of it, particularly around here, because there's a huge supply of chromium. And chromium's very important for building big capital ships, which obviously is something we want to be doing as Japan. So we marched on in, and we took over the Philippines and puppeted them, because the Philippines actually went syndicalist. They had a little syndicalist revolution, and we couldn't have that. And oh my God, look at the Ottomans. They are not winning in this campaign, are they? I noticed the Mashriki kingdom here. This Arab kingdom has really sprouted up this time around. Wow, look at that. Oh yeah, we have the Socialist Republic of Iran as well, which doesn't seem to happen very often, but that's a thing too. Yeah. Now, there has been a bit of a retcon, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a little bit of a retcon. Hold on a second. I just want to tweak the music volume a bit. I felt it was slightly too loud last time. There's been a bit of a retcon, because previously we went down the defend democracy path and then proceeded to have a military coup. I went down the military centrism route on the focus tree. And on reflection, I didn't much like it at the time. But on reflection, I've decided that it's actually worse than I thought, because essentially what I did is went for probably the most boring path on the focus tree completely, because what we went for is basically very similar to what actually happened with Japan in real life with the military coup and stuff. So, I loaded a previous save. I opposed the Emperor's speech. There was the attempt at the military coup, and the military coup failed. So we are still a democratic Japan. We'll be going down the democratic path on the national focus tree, because personally, I find it far more interesting narratively to have a Japan in this alternate history that is kind of becoming the Athens of the East, that is a sort of vaguely democratic bastion in the middle of Asia that is just sitting there kind of doing its thing as the rest of the world starts to go to shit slightly. I took a screenshot of the event, one of the events that popped up. I didn't catch the first one, but I did catch the second one. Where is it? Where is it? Where is the bloody thing? Where is it gone? I'm sure I had it minimized. Damn it all. Did I close it like an idiot before the stream started? I probably did, didn't I? Let's see if I can open it up here and show you. Here we go. Right. Go desktop capture. You should be able to see it. Here we go. Failed army coup in Tokyo. Shocking news from Japan. Today, radical elements of the imperial military led by ultra-monarchists and nationalists launched an attempted putsch against the ailing democratic government in Tokyo. Despite seizing control of key government apparatus and buildings across the capital, the emperor explicitly refused to support the faction, which led to the coup's almost inevitable collapse within hours. A number of senior army officers and their supporters have committed ritual suicide in shame. A key linchpin of democracy has been preserved in East Asia, at least for now. So basically, yeah, Hirohito finally grew a fucking backbone and told these guys, no, I don't support what you're doing here. This is ridiculous. Stop it at once. And they committed seppuku. So that's how things went down. Let's go back to game capture. That's much better. There we go. It's basically what happened at the end of World War II IRL. Oh, really? My knowledge of World War II Japanese history is unfortunately somewhat lacking. It's something that I'm now realizing as I play this series I must address at the earliest opportunity. I think I still have a copy of Max Hastings' Nemesis on the shelf somewhere, which probably would be a good start, at least. Was that acted on by Hideki Tojo? I don't actually know. It didn't seem to mention any names, oddly enough. Anyway. Let's just hit the start button here. Now, it's about a month ahead of where we were previously. It's now February instead of January 1938. And the reason for that is it took me a little bit longer to pacify the Philippines. Because instead of micromanaging it a bit, like I did the first time, I kind of just let the AI do its thing. And the AI managed to get itself cut off at Apari. They let the Philippine army take the port behind them. The morons. So I had a proverbial moment there where I kind of spat my tea out and stopped watching the podcast I was listening to and was like, oh shit, and had to manually intervene, which basically lost us about a month's worth of time in pacifying the Philippines. But we did it successfully in the end. But yeah, thanks AI, you idiot. It's my fault for not paying close enough attention at the end of the day. But still. So we do have a Philippines. Unfortunately, Crazy Hair Man is gone. We've got this gentleman instead who's a social conservative. No elections, oddly enough. But then he's not a paternal autocrat or whatever it was he was before. So Crazy Hair Man's gone, replaced by this slightly more boring looking gentleman. And apparently currently no elections, which is interesting. Do we have elections, right? Yeah, next election is February 1940. Yeah. So, we kind of actually sort of liberated the Philippines from the syndicalists, from the Red Terror. I'm going to say that's not the worst outcome ever. So we're basically playing as a democratic Japan now. If we go to the focus tree, which I've not gone down any further on yet, which is why I'm doing freaking amphibious focus right now to avoid going any further down this tree, because I don't want you guys to miss out on any juicy narrative. Hirohito and his 9 chins. I'm not sure he really deserves that. Okay. Anyway. Electoral reform's the next one down. Then it's enact women's suffrage. Then it's academic pluralism. Then it's constitutional education. Then cultural golden age, which I feel should really be a bit stronger than it actually is. As it stands, it gives us minus 20% damage to garrisons, which will make occupying foreign territory a little bit easier, I guess. So yeah, that's the path we're going down now. It's probably not as good as this, and definitely not as good as some of these, but it's more interesting, personally, I think. It's a bit more interesting. Also, again, a lot of stability by going down this route. Quite a bit of stability, in fact. And political power as well. And stability is a bit of a boring buff to get, but it makes a serious difference. Especially once we get rid of poor land use at some point, that'll be really good. Because having high stability really boosts your industrial output. As you can see right now, because we've only got 40% stability, it's actually being nerfed a bit, which is not great. So yeah, stability upgrades, they're always a little bit dull, you know. It's not as cool as having a bonus to attack for your infantry divisions or something like that, but it's important. It's definitely important. So that's the path we'll be going down very soon. And yeah, I just find the idea of an alternate history Japan that isn't a fascist hellhole kind of fascinating, actually. Like I said, a bit of an Athens in the Pacific Ocean, while Europe crumbles under the tyranny of the syndicalists. As they wipe over the world and a new dark age begins, etc., etc. Shut up, Churchill. Go back to writing your alt history novel. I'm sorry. I shall leave now. Rip Kolchak. Oh yeah, Kolchak's gone, isn't he? Yeah. Even Transmur went democratic. So there you go. We're just following their lead, right? Transmur did go democratic, yeah. Russia has gone for Mr. Kirill I, Mr. Paternal Autocrat Kirill I, who we read his bio last time, and I think we pretty much all agreed that he's a bit of a tool. Not a huge fan of Mr. Kirill. We're going to make him a Siberian Republic. Help them make a Siberian Republic? Don't know. It's really up to them, I suppose, isn't it? For the minute, I'm mostly interested in this stuff down here. Because we need to kick out these Dutch colonial overlords and replace them with nice Japanese-friendly ones, clearly. And as well, same goes for the German East Asia as well. Because basically, we need the resources down here. We cannot ignore this. We desperately need those resources. About as desperately as we need the Pacific States not to completely fucking collapse. So yeah. China is a whole little mess of its own that I'm not really getting involved in right now. There are options to start meddling in that little disaster on the focus tree. I'm mostly focusing on the Pacific Ocean at the moment, however. Like I said, sadly we didn't get to Hawaii in time because you really have to rush that apparently in order to grab Hawaii as Japan. And I didn't because I've never played Japan before and I don't really know what I'm doing. Why do you only have 22 divisions? What happened to the other two? Yamashita. What happened, dude? Whatever, you can have these. Bank on getting a good ceasefire. Sometimes I can get a ceasefire on the Mississippi River. That's the best one. Oh, really? I didn't know that. It's probably going to be the Rocky Mountains one. I'm going to assume. Like it usually is. They certainly aren't really pushing the Sindhis back very much. In fact, kind of the opposite seems to be happening, really. The Union State's crumbling a bit, but, you know, that's just what they do, really. Crumble. In the current version of Kaiserreich, anyway. So, Mississippi ceasefire gives them access to the Atlantic through Texas. Does that include the Texas oil fields? Because that's that's a massive advantage if they can get that. But yeah. Yes. So, yes, democratic Japan now instead of military coup Japan, which I personally find more interesting. And I'm a bit of a sucker for maybe not playing the good guys, per se, but the less bad guys as well. So, there you go. Decisions are available. Anything important? Ah, this might be important, actually. Legislate freedoms. That'll boost our stability a bit. Daily political power cost goes up, consumer goods factories goes up, but weekly stability goes up 0.5%. I think we'll go for that. Let's also rally public support, which changes the popularity of social conservatism, frankly. Legislate freedoms, let's do that. Get that stability up. We want max stability, frankly. Now then, we got any new ships to assign? No, we don't. We do have a recon fleet of sorts now, at least, which that's an improvement on how we started the game. Fengtian government declared war on the Qing. Okay, right. Fengtian and the Qing are now about to duke it out. Qing is looking a bit better than they usually do in my games by this point, admittedly. The only people they're at war with right now are Fengtian and what's left of the Shaanxi clique here. I will be fascinated to see how Qing gets on here, frankly. Ostensibly, we're kind of supporting Fengtian, but Fengtian, this lad here, Mr. Zhang, he's not to be trusted. He's a shifty bit of a shifty fella, that guy. We should probably keep an eye on him very closely. Let's see. Fengtian definitely has the better industry. They are significantly outnumbered in divisions, though, so Qing really needs an early victory here. Otherwise, they'll get out-manufactured, essentially. They have a slightly bigger air force as well. The 5th Chile-Fengtian War. The 5th one. Bloody hell. Tensions in China have remained high since 1927, when the German intervention brought the 20-year conflict between the various factions to a temporary standstill. Over the last decade, however, both the Fengtian government in Manchuria and the Zhili in Beijing have consolidated and built their forces. The stage is set for the most dramatic confrontation in over 10 years. Whichever side emerges victorious, however, will not be alone. Japan and Germany still loom large over the region, and the land of the rising sun greedily eyes Germany's possessions in the Pacific. And the victor of this war will no doubt have a part to play in that conflict as well. The battle begins. Yeah, so... Are there any new decisions we can take? We can seize Tianjin now that the legation cities are vulnerable, and we are powerful enough. We can seize Tianjin for ourselves, apparently. Although the legation cities need to have gone bankrupt, it looks like. And we need 35% for support for the China agency. Well then, alright. But I remain slightly confused by the whole legation cities thing. I'd rather just bloody invade them, frankly. just fucking invade the bastards, annex the lot. Yeah, Fengtian is ostensibly aligned to us. This is true. However, they are... I cannot stress this enough. They are not to be trusted. Amphibious focus is done. Right, let's head over to this end here and do electoral reform. After an extensive review of our voting system, several loopholes and oversights have been discovered. They allow significant amounts of voter fraud in general elections. By introducing a reform package to our electoral process, we can hopefully limit this phenomenon. Gain base stability plus 15%, which is real nice.
We're watching.
Really, really nice.
Scum.
Kudorov has subscribed. Morning, Dope. Thank you very much for the 33 months, dude. That's a long time, isn't it? 33 months. It's not a short amount of time, that's for sure. just still hanging around in the Philippines, aren't you? Cool. I should probably... Where are my unsigned dudes? Is it you? Yeah. I'm just going to slot you guys into a new army. Start building a new one. Yamashita's army's completely full. They ain't got any more room. League of Six Provinces declared war on the Fengtian government. Right, so these two are both German-aligned, I believe. I think Qing and definitely the League of Six Provinces. That's hilarious that they've actually been renamed to that now. They're the German-aligned dudes. I think that might cause Fengtian some problems, actually. Yeah, that's interesting. The dominoes have fallen slightly differently in China this time around. Normally, Fengtian pretty much dominates, but... Interesting. I've just realised we didn't have the endonyms on, so this is definitely not Port Arthur anymore. Thank you very much. It's Dairen. Socialist Republic of Honduras has joined the Revolutionary Front. Oh yeah, Central America is currently tearing itself to pieces. Very good. America, just in general, like from the south to the north, pretty much just tearing itself to bits right now. Yup. Patagonian Workers' Front. Not the Workers' Front of Patagonia. Don't. That's a distinction that must be made. Call to arms request from the Fengtian government. Right. I was unaware we had an alliance with you guys. Oh, right. Did Qing attacked you? Not the other way around? Interesting. Okay. So he's been basically invoking the fact that we guaranteed their independence. Crumbs. Every bone in my body, every instinct is telling me that getting involved in a land war in Asia is the stupidest possible thing we could do. Exactly, Crooked Shades. Just a land war in Asia. What could go wrong? Who are you guys allied with right now? Is it just you two? I don't know how much longer that will be the case for, though. In fact, you're not even really allied, are you? No, you're not. There is no Chinese front faction right now, but there could be in the future. We could call the Philippines, yes. Dear. My army's really not up to the job. Really not yet. Not that I suspect the Chinese are really very far ahead of us right now, but I'm only just now researching 1936 interwar artillery, for goodness sake. Carrier-based air raids. I mean, you can't get enough planes on a carrier to actually do air raids that make a noticeable difference, so that's probably not going to be a thing. We can do shore bombardment on coastal provinces. We can do naval invasions for sure. Yamashita can get his lads together and do a bit of naval invading, but the problem is we'll quickly find ourselves horribly outnumbered. Although, you know, I say that, but... I mean, you know, Like, technically, I think our army is a little bit bigger right now, but it's China. It's not going to stay that way. I have enough army XP to improve my templates. Yes, that's kind of what I was saving it for, actually. Precisely that. How are our stockpiles looking? Modest, I would say. Modest. But maybe enough to make a few changes. Let's see. Right. Field hospital, absolute priority. If we're fighting in China, we want supply as well, logistics, but I don't seem to have researched that yet. Cavalry recon, engineers. What kind of air force are you going for this game? Or a very, very close air support focused air force? Bicycle infantry. I keep seeing that pop up from time to time, but I've never found an option for it. In any game of Hearts of Iron I've ever played, I have never encountered bicycle infantry. Is there some sort of mini DLC that I'm missing? Because I've never been able to get bicycle infantry.
Watching you, scum.
Budorov, that is very generous of you. Bunch of gift subs, chucking those out there. Enjoy your emotes, folks. The Netherlands has bicycle infantry. Yeah, I know. I mean, historically, Japan actually also used bicycle infantry in the Pacific. That was a thing that they did. But I've never found an option for it anywhere. Is it not? Is it mobile? Oh, it's just cavalry, armored cars, motorized artillery, motorized infantry. That's not how bicycle infantry works, I'm afraid, JB. You don't mount a bicycle and charge the enemy. I know it goes without saying. I know you're almost certainly joking, but I feel it necessary to point out, for those unaware, that's not how bicycle infantry works.
We're watching you, scum.
I know it's in the game. I've watched other people play this game and use bicycle infantry, but it's not showing anywhere for me. Bicycle cavalry. Now you're thinking. Now you're using that big brain. You might have to do a focus to get the bicycle battalions. Yeah, probably. I guess I can only assume that that's what you have to do. I can't think of anything else. So. Who would win? One Japanese bicycle division versus some Marines with 50 cals? Well, their bicycle divisions definitely taught the British a lesson in Singapore. Let's put it that way. The British were officially outsmarted by Japanese men on bicycles. Not the country's finest hour, must be said. Alright, Toodles, Dr. Fat. Right, probably want line artillery, I guess. That gives us combat with 50. Actually, no, let's just quickly duplicate instead of... let's see. Cavalry, recon, engineers, field hospital. At least we've got field hospital. We don't... I really would like to have logistics, but at least we've got that. And add 2 arty. And I will give them 3... uncreative name /art. Might even give them a different logo. There you go. Save. Now, how many of our divisions can we immediately convert to that? Right, this army needs to be put into fighting shape for starters. Get rid of all these garrisons. Quite a bit of cavalry, actually. That's interesting. I want to tweak the cavalry template, actually. add you guys to this army. And what are you doing? Ah, right, yeah, add you to it as well. Right, that's the garrison army. This is Yamashita's lot. These 9 guys here, these are more garrisons, basically. Let's say these guys are garrisoning Korea, basically, for now. Right, Yamashita's got his marines and his infantry. Now, here's the thing. Can we convert a whole ton of these dudes into good artillery dudes? Also, he can take Fortress Buster. And he can take Scavenger, and he can take Guerrilla Fighter. Change these guys to int/art. We have the manpower available. We don't have enough towed artillery. We don't have enough support equipment. We don't have enough motorized. Oh boy, we have 0 motorized available. Ah, that's a problem, isn't it? Yeah, that's an issue. Why are we still producing light tanks? We don't have any light tank divisions deployed. Stop it. Gonna have to prioritize building trucks. Yes, we are. I might want to stop my lend-lease of rifles to the Californians as well, although maybe not just yet. Alright. War in China. If we wanted to as quickly as possible, neutralize the League of Six Provinces, how would we do it? Because if we knock these guys out, and we can hold up here, Plain Tian can probably get its shit together. Invade Yantai from 2 different angles and establish a foothold. Where's Yantai? Oh, here. This bit, right. I mean, the capital's over here. There's Nanjing. If we landed troops here, took this port. Maybe even here? So like that way we don't have to cross a river. We land at Hangzhou. We quickly march inland. We take Nanjing. We grab Huizhou, Jinhua, Wuhu. Fantastic name for a town. Immediately draw a lot of them away. Better yet, we try and advance as far as we can around to up to here, cut the country basically in half. Will they be able to get supplies through here? Is the question, considering they're not officially allies, I don't think. Faction that rules around Guangdong. You mean down here? That's just the Guangxi clique. They're not involved currently. Just these 2. Well, we don't really require a diversion to draw them up north, really, because that's this right here, this front line, is the diversion to draw them up north. It's going to take a little while to prepare any kind of land invasion as well, bearing in mind, so you can't just do it straight away. First thing we're probably obviously going to do is take this purple army. Obviously give him a commander. Tanaka, this guy. Let's have a look. Infantry leader, trickster. He seemed a pretty solid choice. We'll be sending him up to this border here to help hold the line against the advancing Qing. While Yamashita's boys basically prepare an invasion in the south, amphibiously, I think. A lot of cav in this army. Yep, it's true. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Could do with potentially adjusting the template a bit though. If we've got the resources to do it. Like add some support arty. And a cavalry recon detachment. Where is it? There we go. It's not going to affect their speed, is it? No. Add light. We could try and add. I mean, we don't have that many light tanks in stockpile. Is the thing. We got 506. I don't know how many. Let's see. If I added one light tank, that's 60 light tanks, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cavalry divisions. $120 light tanks. I don't think we have enough to give them 2 light tanks each, but we could give them 1 light tank. It requires support equipment. It doesn't require any motorized, which is the main thing. We might be able to get away with this. Cav with tonks. Save. It's an expensive template, that one. We'll be able to convert at least some of these, if not all of them. Cav with tonks. It can be done. Boosh. There we go. Our cav have support artillery, they have recon, and they have tanks now. Light tonks, yes. So that's something. That's pretty good, actually. I guess that stockpile of tanks was not a waste of time. We're going to have to add it back in now, though. And we're clearly going to have to start building military factories instead of civilian ones. We'll let you finish that one, and then it's on to building military factories, I'm afraid. I think for the minute, we were actually importing way more oil than we actually need. Daily gain 2.2k. I think I can afford to back off a little bit on the oil imports. That'll give us another factory back. You miss seeing the gigantic pile of USA factories? I know, dude. So do I. Right. We accept. If we break the guarantee, we'll lose 20% stability, and the Fengtian government's opinion will change by -200, understandably. All right. You're on, Fengtian. Let's do this. Let's do the land war in China. What could possibly go wrong? least we've got the support of some of the Chinese. That always helps, I guess. Oh man, our stability stat is not great. At least we got decent-ish war support. Oh boy, I wasn't prepared for this early. I really wasn't. I should have expected it though, I suppose. Right. Air wings with no missions assigned. Okay, so this is something that we can use to our advantage. Do we really not have any air bases in Korea anywhere? That is ridiculous. That's an absurd state of affairs. At least our air force has been built up quite a bit since the start of the game. That's something, at least. What we're going to want to do as well is take these submarines, do that with it, to give it a bit more flexibility, and convoy raid, basically all the way up the coast. You guys will be patrolling, and you guys will be, of course, strike forcing. Did they have much of a navy? They got a few ships. The Qing actually have a bit more. They've got quite a few actually. Interesting. Non-aggression pact request from the Shaanxi clique. Ah, you guys down here? Wait, who's the Shaanxi clique? Oh, you guys. Oh, right, I see. Well, alright then, fine. Non-aggression pact request from Feng Tian. Alright. I don't suppose you want to join the co-prosperity sphere, do ya? I don't think I can do that, can I? Let's see, we've got close air support. Send you guys over here. We've got our heavy fighters. Man, we really need another airbase. We can't use this one because stupid rules. We need to make this one bigger. I mean, probably do with putting another one over here as well. Apparently that port's been damaged. Weird. Alright, do that. Actually, do that. That way. Right, brilliant. Okay. Austrian Empire has beaten the Hungarians, it looks like. You guys relocating? Yep, you're about to. There we go, boosh. Start providing ground support there. Hello. Spotted enemy navies. Okay, naval stuff is going to be happening pretty soon, it seems to me. Now, Yamashita. First things first. Move all you guys here. Yeah, you guys get out of the Philippines. Sichuan clique declared war on the Qing. Oh, fantastic news. Brilliant. Okay. Sichuan is on our side now. Don't you want to put a field marshal in command of the army group? That's a really brilliant idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Thank you for that. Streamer blindness in full force there. Let's see. Torochi Hisaichi? Politically connected, samurai lineage, offensive doctrine. Looks like it'll be this guy. 5 attack, 4 defense, 3 positioning, 2 supply. Actually, no, I think I'm going to go for this guy. He seems to be a better all-rounder, and he doesn't have that experience gain penalty. There we go. The Brown's a garrison army, and so is Turquoise, so we don't really care about them. War support just went up due to it being a defensive war. Ah, that's a bloody good point, isn't it? Yep, defensive war plus 30%. What are our spies up to? Because I have a feeling we're going to have to redeploy you guys. Oh, yeah. There we go. Cherry Blossom up there and Carp. Agent Carp down here in Nanjing, I think. Django suggested it earlier. Oh, yes, he did. I'm sorry. Struggling to keep up with chat and play the game in a minute. Don't know why. I've got a pause button. Alright. All of you. Actually, no. The fighters, you can deploy there and do air superiority. Because apparently they've got air superiority right there. No, well, they kind of don't really. They've got bombers, though, which, in that case, let's put you on interception. Meanwhile, our close air support and our tactical bombers will begin bombing this area. As our Japanese army here from Korea arrives to shore up the defenses up here. Also, you've only got 23 dudes. Unfortunately, I really have no one else to give you right now, but hey. Okay, what are you doing here? Get a move on. Yeah, we're going to be launching our amphibious invasion from Taiwan down here. And yeah, I'm still thinking, I don't know, maybe Nantong would be a better place to launch the invasion. We'd have to cross a river, but it's much closer to Nanjing. I've never had to... It's been a long time. A very long time since I've had to tackle China. In Hearts of Iron. Did I really send them to spy on the legation cities? That was dumb if I did. No, okay. Oh, you mean this guy? Right. Boosh, there we go. Haha, thanks for that. Syndicalism prevails in Ukraine. And apparently we've got a photograph of Leon Trotsky for some reason, even though I think he's dead at this point. After the Weltkrieg, Ukraine became a battlefield between... a battleground between the pro-German Hetmanate, the Bolsheviks, Makhno's Free Territory, and many other armed groups. The Hetmanate prevailed, but it turned out to be unpopular among the Ukrainians, and after an agricultural crisis and the infamous Black Monday, this hatred has reached a breaking point. The famous Ukrainian syndicalist leader, Alexander Shumsky, has led his red militias to dissolve the kingdom and declare the Ukrainian Socialist Republic. Time will tell whether this new entity will endure a German reaction, though, because this victory has strengthened the far-left positions across the Reichspakt. Okay, so we got syndicalist Ukraine. Not, unfortunately, led by Khrushchev like it was in the olden days. Unfortunately. There's the Qing with their blue uniforms. I like the uniforms, Qing. Like, I gotta say, I really dig the blue uniforms. It's a very different look. How is the air war going? Wonderfully. Has Feng Tian deployed some fighters? Ah, they have. Excellent. Although the enemy's got... they're doing bombing runs in the sea here. Alright, let's put a stop to that, shall we? Because I got some spare heavy fighters that can take care of that. That's better. Got all heavy fighters. Naval combat. Ah, we managed to catch some Qing destroyers. How's our screening efficiency? 100% good. And excavation 2 is done as well. Oh. We sunk it? Yeah, we've got a couple of destroyers, 3 destroyers, 4 destroyers, 5 destroyers! Oh, that's an excellent start. Alright. Time to start seriously getting on with this. We've neglected our land tech enough. Like Nestor Makhno, he was dead by the time he could become leader of Radzog France. Who are we talking about now? Khrushchev, the Corn Lord. Yes, the Corn Lord. Talking about portraits and how accurate they are. Oh, I see. Right. Okay, you guys are getting into position. We'll draw an offensive line to Beijing. Basically, just to give you some planning prep. Have we really not sunk any convoys yet? I'm a little disappointed in my submarine fleet right now. You guys should be doing better than this. This is the bloody League of Six Provinces. They're going to have convoys. Where do you think they're getting all their support from? The Germans are going to be sending so much stuff this way. Come on. Get sinking some convoys. Meanwhile, has Yamashita got all of his boys in place? Almost. This is going to be a key part of our strategy, this. They bloody know it too. Look at the way they're garrisoning the coast. This is going to be a genuine beach assault. We're not going to be able to land unopposed this time, I don't think. Kingdom of Spain has joined the Reichspakt. Okay. Yeah, I guess you guys were right. The Carlists really are the Entente faction, even though they don't kind of look like it, ideologically. Regular or Kingdom of Spain, they're all about the Reichspakt. Interesting. Bad news for us, because we want a weak Reichspakt, of course, but, yeah. Slightly further away in through the mainland on a convoy route, I guess. Where would their convoys be going? I mean, surely most of them would be going down this way, right? I've already got kind of most of that locked down, so. How's the Third International looking? They've got Norway. And Mexico. And they will probably have a Cindy America helping them out at some point too, so. Bloody hell, I had no idea that the Southern Nationalist group down here, the Yunnan clique was, is that? Hang on a second. I thought they were part of the Entente. They're not. They just have an extremely similar color on the faction map. I don't like this, really. I don't want to go to war in China. China doesn't really even have much that I want. In truth. You know, like resources-wise. And look at Shanxi clique over here, actually, like, coming back from the absolute brink slightly. Wow. There's something completely mad about this alternate timeline, isn't it? We're democratic Japan in a defensive war against the aggressive Chinese. Everything is just completely wrong. Norway hasn't been murdered by the Swedes yet. No, they haven't. But emphasis on yet, though. I'm pretty sure Finland joined the Reichspakt as well, didn't they? Sweden's neutral this time, for now, though. Don't know how much longer that'll last, though. heck was that noise? Okay, oh, hey, look, little zero fire. Woo! Somebody's... I'm guessing these are the Chinese bombers being depicted here as just unmarked mosquitoes. I'm going to assume that that's the case. God, such a pretty aeroplane, the Zero. Unfortunately, it's one of the few World War II fighters I've never had the pleasure of seeing airborne in real life. Gorgeous aircraft, though. You breathe on it wrong and it'll explode, but, you know, beautiful aeroplane. Are any of it still flying? Good question. I think there must be at least one. I'm sure the Japanese themselves must have preserved one or two. And there's probably one in America, because there's always one of every aeroplane in America. Right, Yamashita seems to have got all his guys together. So, you know what that means. Starting from here, and this is the big question, isn't it? Where do we make our landing? I'm thinking as close to Nanjing as possible. Isn't that what the Japanese kind of did in real life as well? They kind of landed around here. Again, my knowledge of this period and this theatre. Very distinctly lacking. Bit of a black hole in my brain where the history of this period should be. Hangzhou would be a good bet. It's gotta be, I feel like it's going to be Hangzhou or it's going to be Nantong, one of the two. Nantong is much closer to Nanjing, but this big ass river here really makes me scratch my chin and go, that could cause me some problems. Southern part of the province is super mountainous. Yeah, there is lots of mountains down here, but my plan really is actually to try and avoid them and go land. If we would land at Hangzhou, we would basically ignore the mountains as much as possible and go north towards Nanjing. So, excuse me. Do we have any cool decisions we can make? Not really. Size of the port. It's a 1 out of 10 port. That is a 3 out of 10 port. So Nantong's their biggest port. Could get a new company. We could, yeah. Get an army leader actually be even better right now, because that would give us an immediate bonus. Let's want to go for a weapons manufacturer since we are researching weapons at the moment. Chief of Army, what would we have available? Division Org plus 10, supply consumption minus 10. Pretty useful in China. Pretty useful in China, that one. Pretty useful in all of the areas we're going to be fighting, actually. Yeah, I'm inclined to go Mr. Buns and Gutter. Yeah, guns and butter, even. America doesn't have a flyable Lancaster, though. Well, the Canadians do, and that's close enough, right? What else we got here? I'm liking the combination of division org plus 10, division recovery rate plus 10, and division organization plus 10 and supply consumption minus 10. I'm thinking guns and butter and chief of staff. Oh, no, sorry, what's it called? School of Psychology. I feel like that's a good combo. I don't think we can afford to get both right now, but let's get guns and butter for Batman first. Non-aggression pact request from Sichuan clique. Very well. Plus 20% division organization is nothing to sniff at. Anyway, back to planning this. Naval invasion. On the face of it, Hangzhou looks much less well defended. So I think it's going to have to be there. Like so. Although, just realised we need to seriously scale down the number of troops that are actually getting involved in this. Let's take our most experienced ones. U4 plus a couple of infantry divisions. That might be enough, I think, to get a foothold. Yeah, trying to cross the old Yellow River here is something that makes me look at it and go, ugh, I'm not sure I want to do that. Wuji would be perfect, but they don't have a port at Wuji, so that's just not going to work for us. Unless we can land at Nantong, Rugao, and this province here, and Wuji. And then Wuji would be connected across the river to this. And then we're a couple of steps from Nanjing. No, I think we're going to go in the south because they've got fewer forces down here, and therefore there will be a small element of surprise, so to speak, where we can capitalize on them having to remove all of their stuff around, which means it won't be entrenched, and they'll be moving, losing organization, etc. I think that's the best option. You can select multiple invasion spots, yes. You can invade right down a coastline, you know, like in Normandy. You know, if you're invading Normandy, you're doing D-Day, you can select this whole bit here instead of just one little teeny province. You just even need to have enough dudes to do it. We will need naval bombardment as well. That's a thing. It's going to take 42 days to prepare. And we'll need the convoys for it, obviously, but I think we've got plenty to spare. But, yeah. Crack on, my dude. Crack on. I won't send it to auto go, because I don't want the fleet sitting there doing shore bombardment eternally and using up all our oil. So I'm going to wait until that's ready to go. And then we'll do it. We'll send the fleet out to do shore bombardment, and hopefully it will be good. Meanwhile, in the north, we're mostly in position. I don't suppose we can take Fortress Buster for you, can we? No. Because I noticed they have some fortresses. I'm wondering if maybe I should swap these two around. We'll leave it for now. We have altered the timeline. There was a bit of a retcon, as I explained at the start of the stream. There was a bit of a retcon. We are democratic Japan now. We're not boring military coup, same as real life Japan. Because I just wasn't terribly happy about that, frankly, and decided to go back and change it. I mean, should we go on the attack right now, or should we just kind of sit here and wait for them to do something? Waiting is very much in our favor on account of Vientiane's larger industry. Build up planning bonus. Yeah, I think you're right, really. Especially considering we're all about the planning bonus in this playthrough, since we did go for Grand Battle Plan Doctrine. We're not in a rush, it seems, with this. Doesn't mean when the Weltkrieg breaks out, unless we get this wrapped up relatively soon, and there's nothing soon about getting a land war in Asia wrapped up, I don't think. We're not really going to have any armies free to be able to actually attack the Germans, are we? Though again, are we going to be in a huge rush to actually do that? Possibly not. Might be more in our interest to let the Syndicalists grind them down a bit first. I don't know. I feel like the nice thing about Japan and Kaiserreich so far, and I could be horribly wrong, by the way. I could prove to be horribly wrong about this, but seemingly the nice thing about playing Japan and Kaiserreich is that we kind of take a lot of stuff at our own pace. Really, we aren't. Our campaign is really not dictated by events in Europe quite so much. The second Popular Front incident. Additional arrests of intellectuals were made today when 38 left-wing professors arrested on charges of organising a popular front. Oh yeah, the whole 400 or so arrests of left-wing people and intellectuals, that still happened, by the way, even though we went democratic. We do get some stability out of it, though. Air wings with no mission assigned. Ah, right, naval bombers, of course. Of course. Well, you know what to do. I'm probably in range to port strike, you know. That's really tasty. Oh, hey, we've already built our airbase over here. Sweet. Let's move our tactical bombers over there. Thing is, David, going to need to use those ports one day? Yeah, but I'd like to blow the shit out of the ships that are in them. And am I really going to need to use those ports? Really? Really? I mean, I suppose to bring supplies in, but we can repair them relatively fast, I reckon. It's more about destroying the ships in them. Deal with the devil. With their forces hard pressed by... Yeah, I saw this coming. With their forces hard pressed by the combined syndicates of America, representatives from both the Pacific States of America and the American Union State agreed to a temporary truce. Lest syndicate control over them both and win the American Civil War. Whether their agreement comes too late, or if it can even last more than a few months before both sides turn on the other, remains to be seen. Most onlookers appear to agree this unprecedented agreement indicates that for now, the combined syndicates of America has the definite upper hand. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. They're one province away from hitting the south coast. There's the naval bombers. Now you have to select the land province for this, and then port strike for this to work. Yeah, that's where their fleet is. That's where the most of their fleet is, including those 3 battleships. That are rather wisely not coming out to fight us right now, so I'm going to bomb them instead. Would I do a CSA run one day? Yeah, sure. I would. I just get turned off the CSA a bit because they win so often when I'm not playing them. I tend to prefer playing factions that I don't ordinarily see do quite so well, which is why I played as the Feds when we played America previously. But also we did just do an American campaign, so I don't want to return to the US just for a while, really. Ace pilot promoted, sweet. And boom, we got a destroyer, nice. Do we have other naval bombers around here? We do, don't we? You guys. Do you know, just for the minute, you can join in on the port strike shenanigans. Madras declared war on the Princely Federation. Ah. Yeah, things starting to hot up in India a bit. Electoral reform is done. Jolly good. Enact women's suffrage would be the next one, which would give us factory output and stability. Do we want to switch over and do a bit of army stuff, though? Like, for example, both of these are really nice. Enhanced communications and organized chain of command. Planning speed plus 10%. Division recovery rate plus 10%. I'm going to go enhanced communications, I think. Get that recovery rate. Planning speed. The thing about planning speed is I can rush it. I can do staff office plan and just rush it. But the thing is, right now I'm not actually in a rush, so I don't really care. I haven't tried Austria-Hungary, no. For some reason, I'm just not that interested in them, really. I find Austria-Hungary reforming to be one of the least plausible elements of Kaiserreich, and therefore I do tend to not really be that interested in doing it. If you see what I mean. Oh boy, the Ottomans are getting absolutely destroyed. Wow. This is even worse than when I tried to play them before I save scummed. You know what? I'd almost prefer to play as Bulgaria. I'd think I'd rather do a Bulgarian campaign than an Austrian one. Genuinely, I think a Bulgarian campaign would be really, really quite interesting and fun. But Austria, just for some reason, it's just a bit of a turn off for me. Fuel's going down, but one thing we do need to really think about building is lots of fuel silos. Actually, so that because we're going to be short on fuel for a while, but I feel like during peacetime and what have you, it might be a great idea to build up as much fuel reserves as we possibly can at the very least. Probably something I should have been doing. Into war artillery, good. Good. Might want to upgrade our light tanks. Although this is probably quicker right now. For more benefit, just generally. Not having a lot of success with these port strikes, am I? See if we add some more bombers. Maybe it will be a little bit more successful. El Salvador has joined the People's Guard. People's Vanguard, sorry. Okay. I think Fentian's actually making some progress forward every time I'm not looking. Could have sworn that border has moved a little bit. Yeah, we get the whole fleet out here doing stuff. That oil goes in. That fuel goes in like 10 days. Hello there, gentlemen. You're going off to mainland China. You are. You guys are joining a new army. We'll give it general just so I can tell it's proper army. I don't like these options, really. These guys are not great. Not seeing a lot of very talented guys here. And you're not bad, actually. Imamura Hitoshi. Not very good defense skill, but alright. I'll take you. Change your color as well. The game does like to constantly, you know, pick the same bloody color for all of your armies. It always seems to be turquoise or brown. It just loves those two colors. I'll make you green. Alright. That naval invasion is still being prepped. I'm going to probably have to send that factory back to America. What a weird way to put it. But you know what I mean. I'm probably going to have to trade for that extra bit of oil back again. Yeah, I'm making no progress at all here with the port strikes. They are... Why is it when the AI does port strikes on me, they're absolutely devastating? When I do them to the AI, they're just useless. The Government of National Unity. Nakajima Chikuhei from the Riken Sayukai and Adachi Kenzo from the Minsaito, both supporters of the National Security Act, have issued a joint statement urging both the mainstream parties to form a multi-party Government of National Unity to protect the Kokutai national polity from the syndicalist threat. Ooh. We need strong government, get stability, minus 50 political power, politics will change, Showakai becomes the ruling party, public elections will still be held, elections will take place every 4 years, authoritarian democracy, popularity goes up massively. We don't need your nonsense, an election is what we need. Gain base stability minus 5%, political power up. I think it's gonna have to be this one. Let's drop a save anyway. But essentially what they're doing here is what the British did in real life in World War II, actually, which is basically form a coalition government. Right. Huh. There's a whole thing over here I've not even noticed before. We can dismantle our faction if you wanted to. Democracy with Japanese characteristics. Yeah, so it's all authoritarian dem at the moment, but we still have elections, so that's okay. And we just got a big stability boost. Very big stability boost. That's made a huge difference. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. As long as we still have elections, I'm fine. As long as we still have elections and are technically democratic, I'm cool with it. Less of that worshipping the emperor as a god nonsense, more, you know, more of this stuff here. Don't worship the emperor as a god. Don't fly aeroplanes into ships. Continue making anime many years ahead of schedule and let Akira Kurosawa make his awesome samurai cowboy films. That's what I'm all about, alright? We shall be the beacon of democracy. Decimetric radar. Oh, that is good. Right. However, our priorities are admittedly elsewhere at the moment. For example, logistics companies. This is not going well, is it? Port strikes. What good are they even? Japan still needs to get nuked, otherwise we won't have Gojira. I'm afraid it might be a sacrifice we have to make. Or perhaps Godzilla will become a metaphor for something else completely. Yeah, this is just not working at all, is it? This is rubbish. Alright, fine. We got like one destroyer and that was it. How's this coming along? 20 out of 42 days. Right. I'm sure Fengtian is making a push, aren't they? Yeah, they seem to be. This border is definitely moving. I'm not imagining that. Shit. Are you still moving dudes here? Oh, of course, yeah. You just got a new guy added to the army. I have high hopes for these little cav and tank divisions here, actually. I'm hoping they might actually be able to do some good for us. They're pretty low tech, but they're not bad. The support RT and the tanks and the recon might make them actually pretty decent, I'm hoping. Right, you're all in position right now, and we've got a green tick. The plan value is 70%. It's considered to be to our advantage. We've got friendly air superiority, we've got inferior enemy 80%, and division still preparing minus 20%. So, someone. Oh, of course, this new guy isn't prepped yet. Right, yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait for at least for his organization to build back up again. IJA Army. Yes. A bit redundant. The USA of America. Right, Qing government took 3 states. Shaanxi finally capitulated. Well, they held on for as long as they could. That's unfortunate, though, because that means a bunch of divisions are probably headed our way. Perhaps now would be a good time to grab as much ground as we can before they get here. Take Beijing while we're at it. Oh, God, my fuel. No! All those tanks we deployed. Ah! America, I need more oil. God, the oil situation really sucks. On the whole, though, we seem to be doing quite well. A lot of green arrows. That's what I like to see. Socialist Republic of Honduras declared war on Guatemala. Oh, no. Anyway. Horses don't consume petrol. No, this is true. If only we could power our tanks with horse manure. Now that'd be something, wouldn't it? We'd have a perpetual war machine right there. Emperor bless Standard Oil. Can you imagine Emperor Hirohito doing a little advert for Standard Oil on the television? So far, this seems to be going quite well. This is good. I do like that they change uniforms depending on the weather. Like they have cold weather uniforms in addition to their regular ones. It's a nice touch. When the Great War, the war to end all wars between Haiti and the Dominican Republic. I can't wait till that cracks off. God, it'd be really funny if we could send volunteers. just to say we did it. The CSA being pushed back a bit. Oh, I don't. You know, yes, they are. Gadzooks. I don't know how long it'll last for, but yeah. I wonder if all that lend-lease we've been doing for the PSA is making all the difference. Because we sent them a big pile of tanks as a one-off at the start, and we've been consistently sending them like 20% of our monthly rifle production this entire time. And we sent them a big lump sum of rifles via a decision as well. So we've been backing them to the hilt so far. I'm sure they'll reward that by joining the Entente when this is over, because that would be classic High 4. But yeah, I suppose the fact that they've not got well, I suppose the fact that the Canadians have taken all this makes quite a difference to the CSA, but still, good grief. It is noticeable, the fact. I think it's because these two aren't really allies. But the AI has just not sent any 6 provinces stuff up to aid the Qing. So the Qing are basically fighting us alone right now. Which is kind of, you know, it's slightly bad news for us, actually, in the sense that it means that our amphibious landing force in the 6 provinces will have to fight the entire 6 provinces army by itself. However, it is good news in the north for us. Yeah, if this war ends in time, although I don't expect it to, because God, guys, it's a land war in China. This is not going to be quick. But theoretically, yeah, I would probably send some more volunteers to help the PSA. I'm even beginning to wonder whether this is even a great idea. I'm wondering if perhaps we shouldn't completely reschedule this little naval invasion here and actually send it down there. Know what I mean? Just fucking ignore the 6 provinces for now, because apparently we can. Although, the rate these guys currently advancing, they'll probably get to here by the time the invasion's finished planning, so, yeah, forget it. Which river is the Yangtze, by the way? I keep forgetting. That's the Yellow River down here, isn't it? This one, I think. Is this the Yangtze up here? Yangtze is the one by Nanjing. This is the Yangtze. Someone said that was the Yellow River. Or are they the same thing and I'm just being a moron? We really need to go for encirclements here, don't we? I need to stop just letting the AI bash its head against a wall. So just going to do it anyway, isn't it? Unless I stop the whole operation. I just repeatedly tell you to stop. There we go. It's one way around it. Right. And you guys need to move like that. Alternatively, stay put, wait for them to move out. And then send the horsies. Horsies, go! Go, horsies! They're not very fast, are they? Probably because of the terrain more than anything else. Maybe play Three Kingdoms. Do you know what I'd like to? It just doesn't run very well on this PC. If I get that big PC upgrade that I'm kind of hoping to get early next year, I'll probably be playing an awful lot of Three Kingdoms. Oh, you guys actually have stopped. It's just Feng Tian that's attacking now. Sitting there repeatedly hitting the pressing the H button. Tanaka is wounded. Great. Well done, mate. Oh, we had a beautiful surround plan there, and oh, you fools! You fools! I could stop the assault completely, but the Feng Tian will just keep running headfirst into the wall, and continuing the assault. So I guess fuck it. We'll just carry on like this. Maybe if we're mega lucky we can get this here at least. It's not much, but just 3 divisions would be something. No, make that 2. They're pulling out. Getting Edmure Tully at the stone mill vibes here, are we? Yes! Majorly so. Majorly so, yes. Exactly that. We attacked the Qing. They could not withstand us. You fool, I wanted him to stay there. End of Austro-Hungarian dualism. I'll get to that in just a second. I want to do this first. There we go. After the defeat of Hungary, the governments of Galicia, Lodomeria, Bohemia, and Illyria expected the Austrian promises to give the Hungarian minorities an autonomy to be fulfilled. Instead, the Austrians have renounced any decentralization, and consequently, the autonomous Slavic states have revolted against the Austrians. Now, with all other parts of the empire occupied by Austrian troops or in open revolt, the government in Vienna has announced a return to the Austrian Empire as it was before 1867. Most observers predict the revolts will be crushed and the return of reaction to Central Europe. They predict it will be crushed, do they? This seems like a preposterously dumb idea, Mr. Carl. If you ask me, but alright. Stop attacking. Stop it. I want to surround them. I want to surround them, for God's sake! Dutch Revolution. Oh, that's actually... Right, so in the previous stream I said about how we wanted the Dutch to either join the Syndicalists or join the Germans, so we could take all this down here. However, I think this is actually bad for us because the Dutch have gone syndicalist, which means that I think what will immediately happen now is the Dutch East Indies will join the Entente. Which is a problem because fighting the Entente will be a pain in the bum. Anyway, the Dutch Revolution, in yet another victory for the forces of the left, the traditionally moderate Netherlands has gone the way of the British and French and fallen to socialism. The country has been in chaos since the burning down of the Binnenhof in The Hague by the syndicalist Marinus van der Lubbe, which caused the government to declare a state of emergency. After a leftist mutiny on a small navy vessel and a subsequent revolt in Groningen province in the north, revolutionary sentiment quickly spread and army units defected. With the collapse of the Dutch political establishment, a new danger has emerged on the borders of the German Empire. A response is yet something. And I'm pretty sure you guys will... Hopefully, maybe if we're lucky, maybe they'll join the Reichspakt. If we're very unlucky, they'll join the Entente, and we'll be like, well, fuck. There you go. Crap. The temptation to save scum is strong. Yep, tons of rubber. Oil as well. Big thing. Oil. Yep. Oil. When the Christ was our last save? Autosave. 15th of May. 2 days ago. It's up too late. Because that's just going to be a massive pain in the arse. If that happens. End of Austro-Hungarian dualism. Dutch Revolution again. Clearly that's not going to be avoided. Unless we've got some unlucky dice rolls. And joins the Entente. Fuck it. We're not going to get her out of this, are we? We're just going to have to live with it. Christ. War with the Entente. That seems like a singularly painful experience to me. It will become impossible if the PSA join the Entente. If the PSA join the Entente, it simply cannot be done. I don't know if buttering them up really helps much beyond what we've already done, frankly. Their opinion of us is very, very high. Because I think we have been improving relations with them, yeah. But I think it mostly comes down to which national focus they pick, which is basically a roll of the dice, as far as we're concerned. Cuba has joined the Reichspakt. Did it again. Those crazy Cubans. Do you know, there's a country down here I wouldn't mind playing as one day, which is the Patagonian Workers' Front. Which kind of fascinates and interests me, because what they remind me of, these guys down here. I mean, I haven't really looked into the lore very much for them, but just by having a butchers at them, what they remind me a bit of is the kind of Cuban Civil War in the 50s, where Castro and his boys ended up sort of holed up in the mountains in the Sierra Maestra, doing their own little thing until eventually they took over the country. And the whole situation here with Argentina and the Patagonian Workers' Front in Kaiserreich kind of reminds me of that. And that could be like a really interesting campaign to do, I think, honestly, playing as this little guerrilla nation in the south with really, really low tech and not a lot of resources. German Empire declared war on the Batavian Commune. Bohemia declared war on the Austrian Empire. Uh-oh. Ah, the Batavian Commune is not in the Third International, right? No early Weltkrieg yet, although it could all change very quickly. But yeah, it looks like the Germans are having absolutely none of that. Well, what would that mean for the East Indies, then? If Germans take this over and then, you know, create a pro-German Netherlands there, will the East Indies down here remain pro-Entente? I'm going to guess they probably will, because the Germans will put a different monarch in charge, won't they? They won't restore Wilhelmina. She'll be stuck in the East Indies still, as part of the Entente. Brotherhood of Slavs. Wait, what? Did I miss something there? Oh, this, right. I see. Yeah, the anti-Austrian we've been betrayed faction. Right. I guess they're called the Brotherhood of Slavs. That sounds like something out of the New Order. Jesus Christ. Yeah, rather understandably, they've had enough of Austria's shit. Don't blame them. Alright, we're closing in on Beijing now, which admittedly is putting up something of a fight. The Shrieky Kingdom has capitulated. Wow, really? Last time I checked, they were doing incredibly well. Right, can we get another army doctrine here without... Oh, this was an mutually exclusive choice, eh? Well, I probably would have gone with enhanced communications anyway. Reorganized general staff. Yeah, no, I can't. I don't think I can do this without pissing off the Navy, looks like. Which is a bit annoying. Nukes. I gotta say, even though I know nukes are a bit rubbish, usually in Hearts of Iron 4, part of me is tempted to do it. It might be the trump card that Japan's been needing this entire time. I don't know if researching this over here will count as the Navy for the purposes of balancing this out. Let's just do screens. Yeah, the Army-Navy rivalry is still very much a thing, and it's an active game mechanic that you have to balance, in fact. No bias in military focus right now. Both the Army and Navy are content with the current situation for the moment. Let's see if it costs Japan's war in this timeline too. Yeah, indeed. Hopefully not. There it goes. After days of high-intensity fighting in the capital suburbs, Feng Tian troops finally scaled the walls of the outer city, scattering the defenders and making further defense of the capital all but untenable. With rail lines into and out of the city thoroughly cut, the remaining Qing forces quickly thinned as deserting soldiers melted into the urban population. While Feng Tian colors now fly over the Tiananmen Gate, the flames at Jingyanmen send towering columns of thick black smoke into the sky, its sad symbolism lost on view among the war-weary population. China can only hope that the city's new occupiers, one of many since the turn of the century, will finally restore some modicum of peace and order. It seems the Qing situation has grown dire indeed. Don't worry, Qing. One of these days I'll play as you, and we'll actually hopefully reverse this injustice. I really do fancy a Qing campaign, I'm gonna be honest. Qing in Darkest Hour Kaiserreich was fun, yeah it was. I built a gigantic Qing empire in Darkest Hour Kaiserreich that reached practically all the way to Central Asia. It was ridiculous. I doubt it'll be quite as easy in this, but I bet it'll be interesting. Socialist Republic of Ukraine has joined the Third International. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. That is, God man, that's a big problem for the Reichspakt to deal with now, isn't it? But then again, it could also, oh man, can you, what a mess it could create, because we could end up with a scenario where Russia finds itself at war with the International, which normally doesn't happen. They have no common border. They will if Poland joins the Reichspakt, which they sometimes do. And if Austria triumphs down here and also joins the Reichspakt. Yeah, Russia being at war with the International would be really interesting. That's pretty cool. That would be some old school Kaiserreich shit going on right there. That would be, because in old Darkest Hour Kaiserreich, Russia would end up at war with the Third International usually. But it doesn't happen very often in Hearts of Iron 4. I'm actually a little bit amazed at the progress we've made up here. Not wanting to curse it or anything, but seriously. Tanaka here has really just done a great job. See, organizer, infantry leader, skilled staff. Oh, I like skilled staffer. Engineer, mountaineer, hillfighter, ranger. Yeah, I know, Django. It's probably I wouldn't be surprised at all if what happens in this campaign is exactly what I wanted to happen in my US campaign. This, I believe we can execute this plan now if we really want to. I'll be honest, I think I'm going to hold off on it for now. I don't really see a particularly great reason to actually begin this war with 6 provinces, considering we just don't have to right now. What's the state of the USA? It looks like the Sindies are pushing back south again. They're going to win the long war here because they've got so much more industry. It looks like there was a brief pushback, but now it's, yeah. The long war. Yeah. Puns for days. Puns of Iron 4, that's what we're playing today. All depends on the Canadians intervening. Yeah, I mean, if they do, that's suddenly going to become very interesting. If they don't, on the other hand, well... it's in their best interest to do it, I'll say that much, because a CSA in the south for Canada is a nightmare scenario. You really don't want that. Alternatively, CSA could end up controlling practically all of North America alongside a syndicalist Mexico, which would also be kind of horrifying, admittedly, but that would probably become a problem for Cold War Japan to deal with, because I don't think we're going to end up at war with the Third International in this campaign. Watch me now end up at war with the Third International in this campaign. But I'm not planning on having to fight them in this campaign whatsoever as Japan. Unless I find myself in a really good position in the mid-40s and decide, actually, you know what, I reckon I can take them. And end up invading America. Oh yeah, there'll be the ceasefire. I reckon there will be the Rocky Mountain ceasefire. As per usual. But, I mean, yeah, even then, I'm not sure I can see myself invading North America. Partially because it would just be an awful, horrible slog. And also because technically I'd still be able to trade with the CSA for their oil. There'd be nothing stopping me doing that. We'd be dealing with the devil a bit, but as long as I'm getting my oil, I suppose I don't really care. Invading frozen Canada sucks too. Oh god, yeah. In my Union of Britain campaign, fighting west across Canada. Ugh. Mind-numbingly boring. We invite the PSA to our faction, though, through our focus tree. Is it all on them? I'm pretty sure it's all on them. But we can have a little look here. I'm not seeing anything here that's related to the PSA. I think it's all down to them. We can send a mission to India. We can apparently isolate Australia if we want to. This is all Chinese related stuff, which we've not gone down at all. Begin to think maybe we should have done. Oh, hello. That's a useful one to have. That would jump us into war economy. Yeah, I want to think about going down here pretty soon. Tokyo Conference is the only opportunity to invite military allies as Japan. Interesting. Yeah, probably do that pretty soon too. I mean, it would be nice to have the PSA in the co-prosperity sphere so we can directly intervene in the war. That would be like the ideal scenario. We'd get cheaper oil, we'd make sure that they're in charge of the USA. That would be perfect, although, yeah. RNGesus does like to screw with me at times, unfortunately, so I'm not planning on it happening. I'm planning around the opposite happening right now. Oh boy. Here come the mountains. This is where it starts to get really rough. What is this? What is this arrow doing? Good grief. Oh god. Look at all our divisions with low supply. Hooray! Welcome to China! Where's their fleet ended up? I guess it must be hiding there. Let's try some port strikes again. Ah, a roaring success once more. How come I don't set longer term arrows? Because I like to do it a bit at a time. Still a really stunning lack of convoys raided. I do have you guys raiding convoys, right? Yeah, they are. With 100% efficiency. I don't get it. They've got convoys. Crazy stealth technology are they using? Getting support from Germany overland. What do you mean Germany's sending support all the way? I mean, surely not. What is going on down here? I think the Ottomans might actually be winning again. What a mess. So Fentian's pushing ahead even without me. I mean, you know what? Fine, Fentian. If you want to do all the pushing, I am happy to sit back and replenish my stocks of supplies, frankly. We could also modify government again. I believe I wanted School of Psychology. That was it, wasn't it? This is looking a bit ropey. God's name is all the fuel going. Mostly the Navy. That appears to be achieving precisely F all, so maybe I should just... Yeah, I'm going to send the Navy back to its ports. Screw this. Got some new destroyers. Actually, tell you what. No, you're fine. You can stay on strike force. case we do spot something, even without recon fleets. Ah, there you go. Just like that. Got a bunch of destroyers and a couple of escort cruisers. Treaty of Reichenberg. Looks like the Austrians won that. Much quicker than I thought they would. Bohemia has capitulated. Yeah, okay, well. Austria's unified quite early. Fucking port strikes, god damn it. Why are you so shit? Why are you so shit? Why are you so rubbish? Brazil wins the World Cup. The crowd goes wild in Brazil as the host nations upset the world of football. Uruguay's reign lasted since before the first World Cup, and it seemed to be continuing as they were 1-0 up at half-time in the final against the hosts. However, Brazil's pressure resulted in 2 goals in the second half, and Batete, the goalkeeper from the local club Fluminense SC, held his ground against the Uruguayan counter-offensive. History was made, and now 2 nations can claim the title of world champion. We congratulate the winners. Yeah. Good point. Hello, Cav divisions that are no longer out of supply. Hooray. Where are they, like, deployed right now? Got some here. Cheeky encirclement. Hello. Gents. Easy cut off here. Easy cut off. Just need to force this through. Do we still have air support over here? Ooh, probably don't, you know. Yeah, we're going to be out of range for virtually everything. Still get tactical bomber support, but that's kind of it. Yeah, this is going to really be a problem. It's a problem in China in general, but it's an extra big problem for us on account of Fengtian not letting us use any of their airports. Not having air support as we push further inland is going to really suck. Guess all the more reason to try and encircle more of these divisions now. Cabinet Planning Board. With the Black Monday recession, general economic and political turmoil threatening the Japanese export markets in the Pacific, the government has begun to review its economic policies. We mainly export raw silk and other consumer goods. Our industrial goods are still inadequate compared with most Western nations. Various measures to remedy the situation have been suggested, and a Cabinet Planning Board, Keikakuin, has been established to study and plan future economic policy. Good. Socialist Republic of Honduras has capitulated. No Central America this time, I suppose. If you launch your naval invasion, you might get some territory inland, I suppose. Still don't want to embark on this just yet. Although, hello. Is it just me, or have they moved all their divisions elsewhere? Actually, I think part of the problem is actually my ships aren't in this region, and therefore I'm not getting any recon. So they're probably still exactly where they were. Excellent. About to get these guys encircled, hopefully. Something at least. Boom. There we go. Beautiful. you. Peace deal has been signed between the Qing government and the Sichuan clique, ending their hostilities. Ah. Ah. So that's where the rest of their army was. I forgot about that. Uh-oh. Wonder who won that little kerfuffle. Looks like Sichuan might have done. They look a little bit bigger. Oh my god! I guess that's why you repeatedly do port strikes. Goodbye, Wu Wei. Sunk by a G3M1 Rico. Yeah, get Pearl Harbored, motherfucker. Although if Pearl Harbor was a Hearts of Iron 4 port strike, it would have lasted 2 months, and it would have only sunk 1 battleship. But still. Keep going, dude. Keep going. Improved infantry equipment. Nice. Alright, 1939. We can't go for that just yet, but it's available. The Type 14. Interesting looking rifle, that, actually. 1931, the Japanese army approached Kajiro Nambu to design a new semi-automatic rifle. His design, based on the Peterson rifle, which had been unsuccessfully presented to Japan years earlier, ultimately led nowhere due to both difficulties with the Peterson delayed blowback toggle lock system and the unrealistic goals of the army. However, 2 refined rifles based upon the Peterson system would resurface several years later. The design of Masaya Kawamura of the Nippon Special Steel Company would ultimately be chosen and adopted by Japan as the Type 14 due to its reliability and ability to function without the need for wax-lubricated cartridges. Interesting. What should we research in the meantime? Better Marines? I think that's an excellent idea, personally. Right. Please reinforce this up here. This might actually be a half-decent encirclement for once, if we can get away with this. I'm just standing there letting it happen. Right. Okay, here we go. Kunming national government has joined the Chinese United Front. Uh-oh. Chinese United Front. Oh, no! Okay, now we're in trouble. Oh, boy. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Oh, no. This is where it goes bad. Democratic Japan was short-lived. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, Feng Tian's big time getting its shit together in terms of its troops, though. Its army's getting bigger. An industrial advantage it's got is definitely helpful. And they have now joined. Guangxi clique has joined. Oh, bother. Oh, bother, 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 bother. Even Sichuan clique has joined now. Previously, they were our enemy of our enemy. Not anymore. This is good, at least. And the Batavian commune has capitulated. The Germans were not interested in putting up with that nonsense. Yeah, Mongolia's at war with the Mark clique right now. Bavarian naval invasion in the south near Hong Kong. I don't know, is that really a great idea? This is like historically one of the most awful places to try and fight through. United Front forms. It seems that several Chinese factions, unwilling to acknowledge our latest string of victories and the overwhelming superiority of our armies, have decided to band together against us. It's difficult to imagine the squabbling, cliquish Chinese truly working together towards a common cause, and our commanders have assured us that theirs is ultimately a futile measure. We will be sipping sake amid the ruins of their headquarters by the end of the year. Oh no, we won't. Adai! That was a big encirclement, though. I'm happy with that. And oh, we got another battleship. Beautiful. Hue is now dead. Guys, have you thought about going around here and never mind? Never mind. What did you miss? You missed China unifying against us. That's what you missed. Part of me is now hoping that maybe we can rope Mongolia into this on our side. But we did get a big old encirclement off here. It's really frustrating how I clearly cannot see the whole picture when it comes to Fengtian's forces here, because we're not officially allies still. It is proper frustrating. This is a bit like playing as Britain and trying to fight on the Eastern Front with the Soviets in regular World War II. Like, just, yeah, it's awkward. We're not properly allies, and we're not properly cooperating. Screens is done. Okay, that's good, because that means I can hop back over here and go reorganize the general staff. If I want to, of course, because there's also some stuff over here, like host the Tokyo conference. And this, which can lead to a bunch of stuff down here, like the national mobilization law, which would be quite good. Does anyone know what this is really about, this Host the Tokyo conference thing? And would it be a good idea to do it now, or should we wait? Because, or have we left it too late already? I don't know. Pan-Asian thought is genuinely supported by a large segment of the political classes and is a useful tool regardless. By hosting a major conference in Tokyo and inviting diplomats from all over Asia, we can encourage cooperation between Asiatics to stand against Western imperialism. Unfortunately, I mean, they could do something like maybe bring Siam into the fold a little bit. I'm not sure. We have to wait. Just gonna grab this for now. Appropriate music playing, at least. Type 11 LMG and Type 10 grenade launchers. Done! Sweet. I know the Navy doesn't feel like it's a priority right now, but we should probably think about doing something with it as well. It's air doctrines. God, completely ignored this, haven't we? Operational integrity or battlefield support? That is the question. I'm gonna go battlefield support. I'm in the process of researching logistics companies, JB. If you were looking very closely there, you would have actually seen that on the screen. Well, let's get settled in for a long war. Not that much industry down there. I suppose maybe there's a fair bit there considering the size of it compared to like these guys. Alright. Oh god. Kunming national government's called in the Qing government. Alright, explain to me now who I'm at war with. I'm at war with the Ma clique as well now. And I guess the Xinjiang clique. Yeah. So I guess we're sort of with the Mongolians now. Sort of. Yep, they're now at war with Qing and everyone else. So we kind of got Mongolia on our side. Not that that's really worth a terrible amount, but hey. Monarchy restored in Greece. After weeks of deliberation, the Greek government has decided to return the crown to King Alexandros I, who was exiled in 1923 following the establishment of a Third Republic. While many consider Alexandros unpopular due to the part he played in the surrendering of the economy to Germany and Austria following the First Weltkrieg, it was felt he was still the most legitimate ruler. The king spoke to a massive cheering crowd in Athens after returning for the first time in many years, saying that Greece had finally returned to the path it was meant to be on, and vowed to work with the country's leaders to forge a positive future. Oh my god, really, guys? Come on. What secret, super secret defenses do they have in this province that's making it so difficult to attack here? Jesus Christ. Really? You've just given up completely? I guess they're just really badass, that particular division. Those particular 6 divisions, in fact. No, there's no way to get permission to base planes in their territory. You can't do it. It's one of the annoying things in this game. You can get military access, but you can't. You can even get docking rights, but for your ships, but you can't get airbase access. Uh-oh, he's got the Mongolians coming up, sneaking up behind him. Oh no! Yes, it will be the same for Mongolia. Hideki Dojo subscribed. Oh dear. Maybe Spice gave them a gift sub, whoever they are. Spice! Stop being so spicy! Ah, new recruits. By golly, we do need them. Non-aggression pact from Mongolia, yep. I mean, yes. A naval invasion will be a way to get us some air bases. There aren't a lot of air bases in China, of course, but we can build some on territory we've conquered. While Clique is called the Sichuan Clique as our enemy in the Mongolian-Zibei War. See, my original plan here was to actually invade down here, march up to Nanjing, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm now thinking we may want to alter this plan and naval invade somewhere up here. Well, there's not a lot of ports, is there? I mean, we could naval invade Yantai, I suppose. Or we want to do something really risky, naval invade without a port, and then hope we can fight our way to them. Because I'm thinking a united front in the north would be better than 2 separate fronts, where I'm having to deal with the full onslaught of Chinese manpower in the east by myself. Know what I mean? Although the 6 provinces have sent a lot of their troops up north now. Tell you what. Let's save it again. And just do it. See what happens. Keep using the term invade. The word invade. The term is liberate. Okay, fine. Go, Gadget Yamashita. We lack sufficient intel to dare sending an invasion through the region's Yellow Sea. Oh, right, you do actually have to go into the Yellow Sea to do that. Alright, they got ships in here. Where's, Of course they have. We forced them out of the port. Hold on a second. Strike fleet's on the move. They've found him, I think. Here we go. What's left of the Qing Navy, anyway? They're two battleships two of their battleships we sunk in the port. Alright, cool. Now the invasion can go ahead. Let's take one of you, the smaller fleet, sector naval invasion support. Non-aggression patch request from Tibet. Alright then. Tibet. Oh, Christ. Tibet's at war with this lot. I see. Tibet is now officially involved. We've got the Dalai Lama on our side, boys. I just did that. Some guy. I literally just did that, mate. Now we have Tibet, we can't lose. I know. Grand battle plan. Done. Prepared defense. I want to point out, by the way, this is a defensive war. Qing attacked Fengtian, alright? This is technically a defensive war. It even says so up here. A part of it's a defensive war, apparently. Not sure why, but it's mostly defensive, right? You guys are actually doing this, please. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. It's happening. It's happening. This will throw the cat amongst the pigeons, won't it? Hello, boys! And of course this goes to Fengtian and not me. Fuck you, game. Regardless. You watch them all panic up here now. I'm assuming they're going to panic and start moving away. Where are you guys? Back on Strike Force. Why did Japan have 24 divisions just sat in Taiwan this whole time? Guess what, buddy? You're about to find out. I say that. You're not bloody moving, any of you, are you? Fucking go! Go, go, go! Any decisions? Control Beijing. Hello. What's this? Controlled by us or our allies. Effective not selected within 316 days. Gain base war support minus 10%. Gain base stability minus 5%. Effects when selected. Local resistance will grow as we push deeper into China. When selected, plus 10 war support. Wow, that's a bit of pill to swallow either way, isn't it? Fine. 3 military factories. I'm going to take that to mean we've started building more military factories. Finally got to that point in the production queue. Excellent. Well, we'll just chuck it on more rifles for now. But yeah. Come on, guys. We need to get to Nanjing. Yesterday. Is the rest of the army on its way? It looks like it is. Good. Now, if we were feeling a little desperate, what would it take to upgrade all of you? We could do it. Do it. Yep, now they're rushing back down here to put this particular little fire out. Romania declared war on the Austrian Empire. Greece has declared war on the Austrian Empire, and Poland has as well. Serbia as well. Ah, we're having that little Eastern European war again. Interesting. How's America doing? Let's have a look at them. About the same, really. I can't tell if the PSA are winning up here or losing up here, actually, right now. I haven't really been keeping track of where they are. Yeah, our lack of fuel supplies is crushing us, really. It even makes using tanks in the army difficult. We have that little oil available. Alright, reinforcements are arriving. Good. We have occupied Nanjing as well. Hello, who are these people turning up? Feng Tian sending divisions down here. Interesting. I'll be honest, I really did not expect them to do that. Justice Company 1 is at last finally done. Wondering if that's worth getting, even though it's a little bit ahead of time. Or maybe we should upgrade our tanks. Is there anything industrial we could do? Synthetic oil. I think if we were going to do synthetic oil, it might have been better off starting it much, much earlier. Let's do this for now. Computing machine. Right, this is all kind of stalled a bit up here, but that's mostly due to me actively not attacking. Draw a big old line. Just a big fat line. How do they get their defense so high? If you mouse over their defense, you will actually see why. There you go. Mouse over it like that. It will tell you, it'll give you an exact breakdown of why the defense is high. We are building some light tanks, yeah. Okay, where do we want to go with this? Slap bang in the middle of China right now. Push up to the river here, maybe? Up the coast like that. That is quite a foothold we've gotten ourselves. Treaty of Tabriz. Looks like the Ottomans actually did somehow pull that out of the bag in the end. What a comeback story that was. Damn, I really thought they were screwed there. Looks like the Austrians are... Are they winning over here? I'm not sure, actually. Build up that precious planning prep, my dude. Let's, in fact, let's give you a staff office plan to boost it. Alright, Tanaka. How are you lot doing? You're slowly building up that planning prep as well. You guys. Do you know what we're going to do with you? This is what we're going to do with you. You're going to basically hold the south. While Yamashita pushes north. And reorganize the general staff is done, which gives us extra max planning. Cool. Right. Enact women's suffrage. Let's do it. While feminist activity started in Japan in the 19th century, they have only recently managed to achieve any progress by overthrowing the Police Security Act in 1921. Recently, more liberal-minded members of the... Pause the game. More liberal-minded members of the Diet have been pushing to finally grant women full political rights as part of Japan's growing democratic traditions. Gains national spirit women's suffrage, which grants stability plus 5%, which is very nice, and factory output plus 5% as well. Missing equipment production, carrier CAS, apparently. Huh. Oh no, I was a bit optimistic at best. Forget it. What was that noise? What is that? Is it this up here? Battle plans with no units assigned? Oh. Just quickly grab that so we can get rid of it. Caucasus crisis. Sparked by Russia's increasing hostility in the Caucasus region, the German Empire has taken it upon themselves to stand against their expansionism. This has sparked a crisis between the two states, marked by diplomatic exchanges and mutual boycotts. However, Russia has not backed down, and relations between the two states remain frozen. Russia was considered to be a second-rate power by many across the world, but it's been rebuilding over the years, and this conflict shows that it's not afraid of challenging the German Empire anymore. Going over a river into mountains, that's not going to work. Yeah. Oh, look. How did that happen? We got a bunch more stealthed Feng Tian divisions up here. Is that what's going on? That's probably what's going on. Fucking Feng Tian and their invisibility cloaks. Damn it! Ruins my situational awareness down here completely. Wow, look at them go. They're just... Now they've gotten in here, they're just going berserk. I'm trying not to be too optimistic. Feng Tian ninjas, yeah, I know, right? But this is looking quite nice so far, isn't it? Some early gains, at least. I thought I was dithering over this naval invasion down here, but I think I probably picked the right moment, didn't I? If I do say so myself. Waiting for them to all move up to the northern border and then invading clearly was the better option, because, man, look at the mess we've made. Tank designer. Ah, we can make our tanks cheaper. We can make our arty better. Arty's good. Let's make arty better. We'll be researching new artillery relatively soon, I think. Yeah, next year, in fact. If not a little sooner. Just to get ahead of the curve. Ooh, we're gonna get cheeky little calf here. Please do. That would be marvelous. The Greens arrived yet? They're in the process of arriving. Okay. Now I'm thinking about sending the subs back out. See if we can have a bit more luck this time. Power plants with no units assigned. Oh, this over here again. Who would win? Every Chinese rogue state or some trained guy and his benevolent democratic benefactors? The fat controller over here. This is the Kaiserreich mod, Spaceman Spliff. Yeah, it is indeed. We're doing a Japanese campaign currently. Alright, I'm going to call this good. Yamashita. Go, 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 my dude. Or he's already going. Brilliant, brilliant. Let's give you guys an offensive line heading down this way. And frankly, oh, something big's happening. You can crack on. Apparently we've assigned 4 divisions to this over here. I guess that's okay. Ah, probably a good idea, because they're pushing out that little pocket now. So I don't really like how that's just kind of stopped there, I must admit. Wow, 6 provinces are getting absolutely slapped about, aren't they, right now? Wow. I didn't realize how much stuff Feng Tian had in reserve to assign down here. I'm a little bit stunned, actually. I think for now, I'm fairly content not to push in the north either. I'm quite happy holding up all these divisions, just standing there looking at us through the binoculars. Having the 6 provinces in our control will be a big thing. Well, it won't be so big for me, but it'll be big for Feng Tian. The problem is, as we discovered in the previous campaign we were playing as the Americans, when you're playing as Japan with Feng Tian here, you kind of end up creating a monster if you win in China. Now, the big get-out-of-jail-free card, as far as I can tell, is that we can hopefully do what the Japanese also did in that campaign, which is when Feng Tian decides, you know what, Japan, we don't really like you that much. And they decide to betray us. We can do what the Japanese did, which was fucking hilarious, which is basically just head straight into Manchuria, take all of Feng Tian's core provinces in Manchuria, and then not annex, but puppet the entirety of China in one fell swoop. Like, literally, they did it within the space of a month or two. They marched out of Korea into Manchuria, took everything up here that was core, and then boom, suddenly China is Japanese. Strong garrison army in Korea will be a must then. Yep, potentially. Might be a good idea to switch our garrisons from the Pacific Islands to Korea. But not yet, anyway. You guys, Control B. Get infrastructuring your way to the front line, please. Keihin Workers Group incident. An underground syndicalist group operating in the Keihin, Tokyo, Yokohama region has been uncovered and arrested. That's good, right? Yeah, it is. Stability for the win. It depends on how they go down their focus tree. Can we find out what they're doing then? God, they have a big focus tree, don't they? Establish the Jinzhou industrial zone. I'm starting to think, you know. I am starting to think that we're going to want to send a spy to keep an eye on Feng Tian. Where is their capital? Seriously, where actually is their capital? It's here. Shenyang. All right. Agent Carp. Where can we send you? Over here. The day we put proper AI into a video game will be the day I never win a video game ever again. The only way I win at Hearts of Iron 4 is because the AI is dumb as a box of rocks. If the AI was actually smart, I'd get my ass kicked. Alright, Marines are done. Really should be getting those smoke generators one of these days, and the passive sonar. Yeah, I've really neglected all this stuff. And I don't know if we can afford to as Japan. it's artificial, but it's not intelligence. Yeah, it's artificial stupidity. Something Paradox and Creative Assembly are both very good at. It would be kind of fun though. I wouldn't mind. It'd be nice to play a game where the difficulty slider actually genuinely affects how intelligent the opponent is, as opposed to how many cheats they get. Wouldn't that be cool? Enact women's suffrage is done. Look at us, liberal, democratic Japan, academic pluralism. I think we can. To be honest, we can probably ignore this stuff for now. We should probably start heading down this route. And we're just marching on straight down unopposed down here, aren't we? My God. I'm loving this. China's bloody big, but I think their chief problem right now is that the United Front doesn't actually have enough divisions to defend it all. A problem that we will probably soon inherit, actually, now that I think about it. Oh dear. Also, nobody's seen fit to take Nantong. That's kind of amusing, actually. Nobody's really bothered to just go grab Nantong. Mate, go do that, please. They could totally, if they had a spare division around here, send it round to Nantong and then just start wreaking havoc with it. They could absolutely do that right now, because there is a port. Dive bombing. I don't have enough air experience, so we'll leave it for now. We'll build up some more in a bit. Let's go research the Hargo. Next level of light tank. Also, what support equipment we got? Fair amount of support equipment and motorized saved up. Let's go. Division designer. Edit this. What's that? Hang on a minute. Oh, right. Hold on. Can't delete this template because it's being used as a garrison template. Ah, I see. Cav with Tonks. Here we go. Logistics company. Do they not have engineers? And engineers. Better Cav with Tonks. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Right. Better Cav with Tonks. Yes, we can do it. Brilliant. In fact, do you know what? We probably want to add logistics to all of our divisions. Now that I think about it. Have we really? Oh, no. Yeah, no, we should have upgraded to Inf with Art. Yeah, there we go. I'm assuming we have done that. Actually, we haven't. Can we start upgrading some of our dudes to Inf with Art up here? Yeah, we can. Before we do that, though. Add logistics company. So while we're doing all these shenanigans down in the south, we're going to be slowly improving our northern army. Ah, can't quite manage that. Can't quite do all of them. But how about that many? Almost. Just not enough support equipment. There we go. Can we afford to add more tonks to the cab yet? We've only got 42 saved up, so probably not really. I need to give you guys a new plan, don't I? Imamura Hitoshi is wounded. Oh no! Unacceptable. Taisho is running like a whipped dog. And go. Bengtiana kind of leading the way as it is, really, but hey, crack on. Very boutique artisan tonks, yes. Of course they are. Lend-lease request. Wants to provide 9 support. Alright, you want to provide support equipment to me, do you? That's a little humiliating, but fine. Our general has been wounded! Slay him for display! What a fantastic game Shogun 2 Total War is. I just want to throw that out there while we're busy quoting it. Oh. Oh, baby. Oh, hold on. Hold the... Wait. Right. Stop. You guys seeing what I'm seeing right now? Boutique artisan riveted text, yes. Somebody really needs to reinforce that province right there, otherwise this is going to be a bit of a disaster. Luckily, again, the AI is not really paying attention, which is lucky for me, really, because half the time I'm not paying any bloody attention either. They do have a port, but I don't really care. The main thing is we'll be pushing them all the way back to the coast and then making them disappear like a magic trick, a bit like the Joker's pencil. So that's the chief thing. Those visions will be destroyed instead of retreating further into China. Speaking of pushing further into China, look at these guys go. There's just nothing down here. And the League of Six Provinces has capitulated. Which means you guys are now cut off. Okay. I never expected... Oh, no. No, don't. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Because we'll be doomed otherwise. Seriously, though. Wow, man. That couldn't have come at a better time. Buy 6 provinces. I don't think anyone will seriously miss you. Unread naval battle results. Oh, their ships have been forced out of their ports. Ha 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 ha! Excellent. Yeah, I see you over there, Germans. Ostasiatische Division. Coming for you next. Right, you're still yellow on your arrow. Probably because you're moving stuff around still, but fuck it. Go, mate. Go, go, go. Let's not stand around on ceremony right now. Let's exploit this big, huge, whopping coup we've made here. I'm starting to see why Feng Tian does so damn well normally when under the AI control, because damn. I always thought it was Feng Tian doing it by itself, but I didn't think Japan got involved. But that guarantee of independence makes all the difference, eh? This explains a lot. Oh no, they had this to begin with, dude. They haven't shown up to grab this. Germany always had this. That's always been there. Oh, the Claw, my dude, hello. How you doing? I was genuinely thinking about sending you a message one of these days, depending on how things are up at your end of the country. I'm sort of getting back in contact with a few of my 40k peeps now that things are lightening up a bit. Although, again, don't want to jinx it. What are you guys doing? Oh, I see the problem here. This music is far too whimsical. Go away. Smoke generators are done. Woo! Passive sonar, depth charge throwers. Either's good, frankly. 3 military factories. Ooh, okay. Well, right now we need more support equipment, clearly, so let's just pop it into that. And we got some unread naval battle results. Oh, they got their pride of the fleet. The Long Way has been sunk by some destroyers and some submarines. Well, that's an inglorious way to go. I guess it had no escorts at all. It was just one big stonking great battleship floating along in the middle of the sea, and it just got ambushed by submarines. Yep. Yeah. Don't want to get involved in China. And then Kaiserreich is just like, yeah, but you are going to, though, in the most massive way possible. Feng Tian requests small arms. Feng Tian government says, oh, you... I wonder if we keep sending obsolete equipment, does that increase the likelihood of them stabbing us in the back later on? Send the latest equipment. Or maybe we're just making them inevitably stronger for when they do backstab us, I don't know. You need a tougher opponent, the Navy, eh? Yeah, I think we'll find one sooner or later. Looking at you, German East Asia. Call it a hunch. But I think we're going to find a glorious opponent, and our battle will indeed be legendary. It'll just have to wait a bit. Also, good God, the front line in the south has gotten a bit screwed up, hasn't it? Guys, can we just finish this, please? Put these poor buggers out of their misery. Yeah, actually, go for it. Insufficient resources. We need more aluminium. Anyone in the region got some aluminium I could invade and take away, by any chance? Anybody? The Germans have got some. Got a fair old bit of it too, actually. That's good to know. They're still united against us. Unfortunately, we've managed to get so many monstrous surrounds. I think their army has just been wiped. They're trying to clearly they're trying to replace them as fast as they can. It is China after all. They ain't got no shortage of manpower. But I mean, actually, the fact that Mongolia is losing big time in the north is actually potentially a bit of a cause for concern. I'm noticing that now and thinking, that's interesting. Could end up opening a whole second front up here. But, yeah, we've destroyed a lot of their divisions, and they're trying to replace them, but I think it's largely... I'm seeing a lot of crappy militia about the place, you see. Keep hands around looking for militia and not finding any. Oh, there's some. How is the American Civil War going? About the same, it looks like, really. It's a bit backwards and forwards, isn't it? But I think on the whole, it's still these guys that are winning. Purple army go. Hang on a second. What is this here? Oh no. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Yeah, big United Confederate States, combined syndicates of America would be not very nice. As we said, not very nice at all. I still think we're going to get the Rocky Mountains truce event. I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be split down the middle, roughly, but the CSA will get all the good stuff. Unless we are somehow able to intervene and put a stop to it at some point. Station Ron is done. With Russia, not a threat across the Amur River and the Americans embroiled in a civil war. The time has come to fulfill our destiny. China is weak, corrupt, and divided and must be led into the modern age under the guidance of Japan. If the Chinese don't agree, then we shall simply have to teach them a harsh lesson about defiance. This is all a little bit, we've moved on since then, okay? Quite significantly. Support warlord allies, divide and conquer. Support warlord allies, I guess. Yeah, that doesn't happen very often, does it? It does not happen very often, but yeah, they just nommed New England and have kept it. In addition to Alaska. I don't think they went for the canal, though. To the expeditionary forces in the US. As soon as you go to war with someone, your expeditionary forces abroad are immediately recalled. So, what were our expeditionary forces in the US are now fighting in China. You know, we're doing rather well considering we don't have any real air support. But I don't know, Feng Tian's probably providing a little bit, but our guys certainly are not in range to help. Thanks Hearts of Iron with your weird ass system for air bases. I mean, yeah, man, we're crossing rivers in mountains and we're still trashing them. It's incredible. They even have intel advantage over us. I mean, damn. Their divisions are just terrible, I guess. It's historically proven the deeper you fight in Asia, the worse it gets, yeah. Although we're already doing much better than Japan ever did in real life. We're being helped an awful lot by the fact that we have a very strong Fen Tian filling all of these crazy gaps everywhere. Because, I mean, all this is a thing. Oh, what's happening? Oh, there was a bit of a freeze there. I was worried. Looks like Guanji have kind of got their shit together down here, and I think it appears that Feng Tian's got some stuff down here because there is actually a battle occurring. But yeah, we should probably get rushing down this way, guys. Come on. Forget that. Forget that. Get redeploying. We could get Qing to capitulate. Game over then. For the Chinese, anyway. Let's not engage that plan just yet. Let's take this opportunity to change some division templates. Except that doesn't look like we can really afford to at all. Never mind, forget it then. Just build up some planning prep instead. Serbia and the Ottoman Empire have... Austrian Empire, not Ottoman, sorry. What's happened over here then? Oh, looks like the Austrians kind of lost. Alright. That's an ambitious plan, yes, I know. Austrian Empire has joined the Reichspakt. Okay, I expected that would happen. Oh boy, imagine if they unified with Germany right now. Boom. But they won't. But imagine. F for Austria. They brought it on themselves. They betrayed all their allies. They went back on their word on that treaty thing and just betrayed the lot of them, so they got what was coming to them, frankly. What happened to the Netherlands in the end, then? Ah, Maria Adelheid is now Queen of the Netherlands, at least in the actual Netherlands. Meanwhile, in the Dutch East Indies, it's still Wilhelmina. Treaty of Budapest. A new chapter opens for the Habsburg monarchy as their forces have been defeated by Serbia and her allies. Once one of the dominant forces in the Balkans, Austria has seen continuous decline for decades, and while their hollow victory in the Weltkrieg brought a brief respite, this war may have finally brought down the once proud empire. The map of the Balkans in Central Europe has been redrawn once more, and Austria has turned to the German Empire for protection. It can no longer be considered a great power, and will be fortunate if its monarchy remains intact in the wake of this humiliation. And who have you got to thank for that, Austria? Yeah, that's right, it's yourselves. You foolish, foolish bastards. Can Serbia form Yugoslavia now? Probably. Just a question of when, really. I think they will do it at some point. I've just noticed we've got new divisions. Welcome to the fight, boys. Off to China with you. And we got no more military factories. Okay. More artillery. Passive sonar is done. Nice. We chucked a little bit of XP on top of that. We could get that very ahead of schedule. Not gonna bother though. Must not ignore the naval tech. It will bite us in the arse later if we do. Though I must admit, were I to do this campaign again, I would have definitely focused on the army a bit more early on, had I known that this was coming. But I suppose that's the joy of playing Kaiserreich completely blind sometimes. You make mistakes like a real country would. Serbia has joined the Moscow Accord. Ah, now it's getting interesting. Makes sense, actually, because I think the Serbs and the Russians were quite close, like, before World War I. Weren't they? We got Vladimir, but we've got bad Vladimir now this time. We got bad Vlad. It's gone paternal autocrat. Got imperial glory instead of constitutional monarchy. Kingdom of Greece has joined on the Entente. Oh, okay. Pro tip, I discovered this recently. If you select divisions like that are moving and you hit Control B, it will force them to use infrastructure to move when possible. So they'll move much faster, but they'll lose their organization. Oh, crumbs. Hello. Let's close that little gap there. Ugh, yeah, it's getting grinded down a bit now we've reached the mountains, isn't it? That's okay. That's fine. You guys ready to rock and roll yet? Not totally, but I think you might just have to go anyway. Prepared defense is done. Just in time, I guess. Right, grand assault. Romania has joined the Moscow Accord. Oh, wow. It's getting spicy now. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's not looking good for the Rice Pact, is it? It's really not. This is good news for us. I mean, probably not good news for, like, Cold War Japan that's going to have to deal with the dominant powers that replace Germany, but, you know. As far as our campaign is concerned, it's great news. The Entente might be the strongest faction. You reckon? Oh, look. Mongolia and Fengtian are part of the same faction now. Or, no, they're not. No, they're not. Never mind. Ignore me. They were the same color on the map, and I assumed they were the same faction, but they're not. Oh, I forgot we still have Tibet on our side, don't we? Good on you. Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if, like, the AI's done something really silly, like send most of its divisions to fight Tibet, and that's why we're winning so easily. I've seen the AI do sillier things, honestly. This war's still ongoing. It's the longest I've ever seen this happen for. Italy's still not unified. The Entente has Portugal, I keep forgetting that, and the Reichspakt has Spain. Poland is yet to commit. The Third International has Ukraine, which is a bit mad. And they've got Norway. This is a very interesting drawing up of the map in this campaign. This is a bit unusual. It doesn't usually go this way for me. I'm kind of curious, morbidly so, to find out what happens when all the fireworks kick off in Europe. Yeah, it does look like it's going to be a bit of a fustercluck, doesn't it? How's Fengtian doing? Bloody hell. They are slowly growing into a behemoth, aren't they? Russia will attack Ukraine to regain lost territory and put their alliance at war with the Third International. Yeah, that's what I was thinking would happen. We'll also attack in the Reichspakt at the same time. So it'll be a massive free-for-all. Exactly. So that's what I was thinking. I mentioned this earlier. It's going to be like old-school Kaiserreich, where Russia and the International are also at war with each other. We could have the the darkest hour doom scenario where France is busy marching halfway across Siberia. It could happen. It could happen. Not had a scenario like that since playing Darkest Hour, but woo, that would be interesting. That would be a great time for the Trans-Amur Republic to decide, you know what? I'm going to become the Russian Republic. These boots of mine are feeling a little small. Are we at war with the entirety of China? Oh no, we're at war with the entirety of China. Which made me shit bricks when it first happened. When the Chinese United Front formed. But so far we've been, touch wood, we've been doing quite well. Although as this front gets wider and wider and wider and my forces get more and more split, it's becoming a little bit more ropey looking. But, on the other hand, Feng Tian seems to be quite handily filling in any gaps that appear, so... Legation Cities is joining the Entente. Oh man, the Entente's just really trying to piss me off in this game, aren't they? First the Dutch East Indies, and now the Legation Cities. Maybe we need to commit to fighting the Entente. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. That's going to make life very interesting later on, isn't it? If we have to. I mean, it'll be on our terms if it does happen, at least. We won't get declared on, I don't think. Oh yeah, there is Hawaii, isn't there? How could I forget? Support warlord allies is done. Many of China's warlords are lining up to bow down and receive Japanese power to back them up, like the old Marshal did. We should oblige them and ensure they are well equipped to be our proxies in China. I think it's a little late for that, but national mobilization law, that's what I wanted. Changes us to war economy, and some conversion cost discounts, although I never do that. Factory bonus to division limit plus 50%. I don't know what that even means, actually. Oh, it increases the division cap we can have. Right, okay. I realise now. And the division limit cap is up by plus 200, which is massive. And military factory construction speed goes up by 20% as well. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, actually. Let's have that right now, please. Yeah, we are going to want the PSA on our side, aren't we? On the other hand, almost wouldn't mind if the CSA win, join the Third International, ruffle stomp all over Canada. That's the Entente's biggest player then removed. Along with their fleet. Because even though we could not be more ideologically opposed to the Third International if we tried, they are the big faction that we are the least likely to actually end up at war with in this campaign. We have the least reason to attack them. So they can have the Western Hemisphere. I'll have the Eastern. Thanks very much. Right, let's give you guys a plan to follow. Southern Rhodesia has joined the Entente. Is South Africa about to tear itself to pieces? I think it is. Oh yeah, no, if we were actually going to continue into a Cold War, it would be a bit of a nightmarish scenario, yeah. But luckily, that's not a problem I have to deal with. Natal's joined the Entente, yeah. South Africa's about to go kaboom. Will you please remove this unsightly yellow blister on the map? Seriously. Go away. Probably South Africa has declared war. Yep. They about to explode. Oh, hello. Managed to do that while we weren't looking, apparently. Start of the Third Boer War. Alright. Resentment between the Dutch and British colonists in South Africa has been brewing under the surface ever since the end of the Second Boer War, with the former mostly pursuing South Africa's divorce from the British Empire, while the latter seeking to keep as close to it as possible. Renewed conflict was, perhaps, unavoidable from the start. Leveraging their majority among the electorate, the Afrikaners have declared South Africa an independent republic under the leadership of Dr. D.F. Mallon. The English-speaking provinces of southern Rhodesia and Natal soon after declared their loyalty to the Empire and secession from the Republic. As the battle lines are being drawn, an entente appears increasingly likely. Can the British finally pacify South Africa permanently, or will the Boers recover the freedom and independence they had to give up in 1902? Third time's the charm. Ooh. Our finest hour. Here we go. British politician and former Lord of the Admiralty Winston Churchill has published a new book, part of an emerging genre known as alternate history, concerning the Great War. The story takes the perspective of a young British soldier returning from a victorious Gallipoli campaign amid a world radically different from our own. In this timeline, Theodore Roosevelt and his Bull Moose Party win the 1912 American presidential elections, leading to an American entry into the Weltkrieg and an Entente victory. A defeated and partially occupied Germany is gripped by constant economic and political crises, witnesses the defeat of the Whites in the Russian Civil War, and is cooed by a bitter and extremely nationalist Adam Dressler. He leads the German Workers' Party, who follow the ideology of people's socialism as an extreme version of national populism. The novel ends with the beginning of a three-sided war between Dressler's New Reich, the Western Entente led by the dominant British Empire, and a Soviet Russia led by Sergei Kirov. The book has divided critics, with some praising its attention to detail, while others criticize it for large flaws in historical logic. Churchill has commented that something like this could have happened in another universe. What a childish fantasy. A successful Gallipoli campaign is pretty childish, yeah. Man, they refuse to yield an inch here, don't they? It's alright. You know what? We might be able to cut them off here instead. Much smarter move, actually. Although you guys can keep them occupied for the meantime. Don't want them retreating out of the province. Once they see what's about to happen. I wonder what the alternate history genre would be like if Churchill was a famous alt history writer like in Kaiserreich. Don't know. He did, of course, write a huge multi-volume history of the English-speaking peoples in real life. So he was a bit of a writer. But in Kaiserreich, it seems he's delved into alt history because I guess he finds real history a bit unpalatable. Was it any good? Well, you know, as a history series, it's a bit dubious, but you really read that series not so much to understand history, but to understand Churchill. So, and he's definitely not shy about giving his opinion on various historical events. Let's put it that way. Approved airplane catapults, nice. Depth charge thrower. Really hoping to pull this off here. It could be beautiful if it does. Look at all those guys we could kill off. How's it going in the north? Oh, don't know if I like this. Although these Qing guys here are all completely cut off now, so there's that. Oh, Mongolia, are you going to be our Achilles heel? Actually, they're not fully. They're not cut off at all. Because this is Markleek, this is not Mongolia, even though they look really similar on the map. Three military factories again, sweet. What we need more of? Oh. Artillery and infantry equipment, apparently. Insufficient resources, we need more steel. Russia, I need your steel. Oh, I really want to think about cancelling the Lend-Lease we have with the Pacific States of America, but at the same time, I really would like them to win. Or do I? If they join the Entente, that could be a disaster. There you go, you can have 5%. Yeah, they actually do look like they're regaining a bit of ground, yeah. They didn't use catapults on carriers, no, but those are seaplane catapults for using on battleships and cruisers. That's what those are. The Legation Council expands operations. The Legation Council has recently renewed its focus on expanding the profits of free trade for all its member states. They've encouraged Chinese manufacturers to lower their prices. Really? Promising them to compensate in other ways, while they have encouraged other middlemen to lower tariffs as well. As such, our businesses are now reaping the fruits of Chinese labor, even as we subjugate them. Right? Cool. And the Socialist Republic of Italy has decided that it's sick of Venice existing. I don't blame them. Venice existing at all in 1939 is ridiculous. Man, I wish Szechuan hadn't joined the enemy. We'd be on our way for a beautiful cut off if they hadn't joined them. We really ought to have some people up here, you know. Just saying, guys. Who are the guys that are moving right now? You lot are moving. Control B. Off you pop. It's just turning into a lovely little opportunity here. Although there's a lot of rivers in the way, they're going to make it difficult. What are you guys doing just standing there? Ah, brilliant. We've got these guys surrounded at last. Order restored in the Philippines. While the Philippines still labor under Japanese control, the Filipino military has asserted enough control over its own borders that a semblance of autonomy is now possible. This is not independence, far from it, but it does mean they no longer have to rely on Japanese troops to secure their borders, and are thus not so tightly under our control. So be it. Yeah, don't get mad at us, Philippines. Get mad at the Germans who are still occupying half your country. Is Feng Tian a puppet? No. We're not even technically allied. We just guaranteed their independence. And then they were attacked. So we got the call to arms, but we're actually not allied, nor are they a puppet. We're just kind of vaguely on the same side. It's this very peculiar arrangement, honestly. There's a good chance, and I mean a really good chance, that they will actually try and backstab us later, which we do need to be prepared for. Have we finished researching our light tank yet? Not quite. Probably a good time then to do this. Let's make it cheaper. We're not very resource rich as Japan. Cheaper tanks is good. Stalin was always in Kaiserreich. In the olden days, he was the Minister of Security in Georgia. I don't know what he's up to now. Stalin actually starts the game in Patagonia, does he really? Stalin in Argentina, that's a twist. National mobilization law. Where hey, the agrarian revolt. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi has been an advocate of resistance to the brutal Maximus regime of Subhas Chandra Bose in the Bharatiya commune. And oh, it's this little turn of events. Okay. And while he has long stated that this resistance must be peaceful, the patience of those within the agrarian party have apparently come to an end. New agrarian leader Nirmal Kumar Bose has issued a call for the Maximists to be toppled by force, and insurrection has immediately begun to spread throughout the nation. Gandhi, saddened at the violence about to be committed in his name, has elected to retire from public life. So basically, instead of directly attacking the Bharatiya commune, one of these two has sponsored the agrarian revolt instead. Interesting. Philippines wants to send us a bunch of Springfields. Nice. Okay, I'll take it. We are at a bit of a deficit of those, it must be said. Whoa! The Qing have capitulated. Carol of Romania is assassinated by the Iron Guard. The fragile alliance between King Carol II of Romania and Corneliu Zelea Codreanu's legionary movement was seemingly fated not to last long. Codreanu, having been taken out in order to decapitate his movement, but his scorned followers regrouped quickly and tried to tried an avenging gamble to assassinate the king, which has succeeded. In the wake of the bloodbath in the capital, the young crown prince Michael has been crowned as king, but it remains to be seen how long he will manage to bring peace to the country. I see. Hooray for broken English, yes. Unfortunately, there's a lot of it in Kaiserreich, but in fairness now, there's also a lot of broken English in vanilla, so... The agrarian revolt declared war on the Bharati Commune, and the Patagonian Workers' Front has capitulated. To who? The Workers' Front of Patagonia, perhaps? I don't know. Uncertain times, and Natal has given up as well. Okay, so it's just southern Rhodesia. This is South Africa. And meanwhile, Argentina strong. Remove Chile. Remove Patagonian Workers' Front. Interesting. Don't think I've seen Argentina win this very often, actually. That's a big setback for the syndicalists in South America, isn't it? With them gone, and with Chile gone, there's basically no Sindies in South America. Sindies have been removed! This is still going on forever. No national focus set, alright. Recruit collaborators. Gains national spirit Chinese soldiers, which grants non-core manpower plus 4%. Except we won't see any of it because this is all controlled by Feng Tian. Burn to ash strategy. I feel like this is a real oversight here, honestly, but whatever. Burn to ash strategy. Effects gain national spirit, burn to ash strategy, which grants ground support plus 20%, division attack plus 10%, resistance growth speed plus 50%. This will reduce our influence in the Feng Tian government, making it easier for them to oppose us in the future. Don't like either of these, really. That one's just useless. That one's dangerous. Well, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to wait till next time to find out what we pick, because I actually have to go. It is 7:15, I'm afraid. This not being a Wednesday stream, I do have to go a bit earlier. So, ladies and gentlemen, I leave you now with a very wildly successful Chinese campaign halfway through being fought. It's really exceeded my expectations. I thought we were going to be stuck here forever, fighting around this area, but oh no. No, quite the opposite. The Fat Controller cannot be stopped. His train keeps a-rolling. Yeah. And to think we're still only in 1939 as well. There's so much more that we're going to end up doing in this campaign, hopefully. I look forward to all of it, though. So, ladies and gentlemen, stream 2 is done. More eventful than I thought it was going to be, honestly. I didn't expect or want to be dragged into China, and yet here we are. I can probably quit it with the submarines now, can't I? I'm just realising, but I will do that next time. Let's see if we can raid somebody. Who shall we raid? Samolf is playing The Darkest Dungeon. Wonderful, wonderful game. Took me ages to get around to actually playing Darkest Dungeon myself, but once I did, I loved it. So we're going to go raid him. There we go. I think he's already completed it once, and now he's playing it again on a higher difficulty with, I think, some mods and stuff as well. So, and Samolf is one of those guys who he plays games on like the highest difficulty and does so. Like he famously, I mention this every time we raid him, but he famously played all through XCOM on the highest possible difficulty setting without losing a single team member, and he ended up getting featured in PC Gamer as a result. He's really good at video games, basically, Zamalf. It's always a joy to watch him do his thing. So, And the thing I love about him as well is that even though he's really good at video games, he's not super competitive about it either. He's also in the past done like really awesome role-played RPG playthroughs and stuff like Skyrim. So he's just a supremely chill dude. I love watching him play stuff. So we're gonna go raid him. Hop on over there, spam some emotes, say hello, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Because I want to carry on with this immediately, frankly. So I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Until then, folks, have a good one. Toodaloo.